Everybody, it's me, Rosie O'Donnell, star.
All right. How's everybody doing today? Today is the 20th of March, and I thank you guys for joining me. Got a little bit of a late start today, but we are here. We are live. We are, doing the thing. Just give me 1 second right here, and let me grab this and see if we can't get this situated. Do. All right. Just pulling up a few last minute things, and we're gonna get right to it. We're gonna do it to it. Premium. All right. Yeah. All right. We have a lot today in store, so make sure you guys are, paying attention because it's a lot to go over. Hello Bree, hello Christina. Thank you guys for showing up. So first on today's agenda, Trump strikes again. Right here we have the recent strikes on Yemen, more specifically the Houthi. And Donald Trump is not playing around. This is Trump in response to an ongoing threat posed by the Houthi, which are the rebels within Yemen. But what threats would constitute this type of response? Because he's doing all of these airstrikes, and we don't really have a lot so far on the news, as it would seem if you're just reading the articles. But first and foremost, these strikes are in retaliation to what the Houthi are doing to the ships that are going through there, because this particular area, which I'll show here in a second, is a major area for moving freight and cargo. And this is one of the reasons why Trump is responding to this like he is, because it is a form of protection for these ships that are going through here, protecting American shipping, air and naval assets, because the Houthi are shooting from surface to air missiles to these areas. And as you can see right here, this is the trade route that they're going through here. And in these areas, you can see where the Houthi are attacking at. It's right into one of the mouths of the main area of where they are shipping these things. And this is something that is reminiscent of last year. But check these videos out. This is a 30-second little clip of them launching their from the aircraft carrier to come over here and just lay waste to this area. And I'm here for this because what is currently going on, and no, there is no sound to this particular video, so you are not experiencing a technical difficulty. It is muted on purpose because it's quite loud. But this is the response. They are launching all these F-35s right after the next, just to make sure they can take care of the situation with the airstrikes. And this is a full-on military assault. No, it's not war, but we are protecting our assets and other countries' assets by doing so. And like I said before, they're not playing games. They are going around dropping bombs on everything that is Houthi related. And as you've seen just there, it's warranted, because if you remember from last year under Joe Biden, if I can get this pulled up, we see that there are many of these people taking credit for what's going on, but they did the same thing under Joe Biden last year. And this is when the lawmakers went after Biden, because they said he is starting a war without congressional approval. But it's not. It's in retaliation to what is actually going on through this particular area. And I'm here for it. I'm totally here for it, even though it might seem to be escalating tensions between certain areas. I'm here for it because you have people that are causing harm and trying to strike fear, real terror, into anyone's life that is going through this particular area, all because they can. And Israel has been trying to get a hold of them, and not much has happened because Israel has their whole hands full with Hamas. So it takes America to step in this particular area because they are protecting their assets. They're protecting a lot of the world's assets because this is a major shipping route. The military objective in this particular area is aimed to weaken the military capabilities of the Houthi. So the media is not going to tell you this. They're going to tell you that Donald Trump is out here just bombing these poor little people. No, he's trying to weaken their resolve by destroying their attacks. and capabilities of attacking. And like I said, this is very reminiscent of what Joe Biden did when he received major backlash from Ilhan Omar and what was the other one's name? Rashida Tlaib. The squad members. It seems like these people are particularly more involved with the Middle East and their Muslim ties than they are involved with actually being American. So hopefully we can get these squad members out in general because they are cancer to our American government. But next on the list is the FDA is cracking down on poppers. What they've been doing is raiding manufacturers of poppers. The FDA has reportedly conducted a raid on several different companies because these companies are making these things, which I wasn't going to say specifically what these poppers are for, but they are a party drug that is well known within the homosexual community to make people feel a certain way so a certain act can happen. And they've been raiding these manufacturers because they can lead to major health risks. So it seems like the party drug for the LGBT is being stricken from the record by what the FDA is doing. The FDA has previously issued advisory warnings to consumers of this particular drug, citing that the potential health risks associated with these products are great. And not just something that, you take it, minimal risk, like drowsiness, stuff like that. It could have long lasting effects on people. And the public relations on these particular drugs has sparked a major issue with that particular community because they feel like they're being attacked. But apparently anything that Donald Trump does feels like an attack on these people. But they are going after, what is it? I'm trying to remember. There are two major companies that actually produce these and have been making lots of money off of these particular things, but they are not playing around with this, and nor should they, because any drug that is on our streets to help people feel a certain way, to do a certain thing, no matter what it is something that we shouldn't have readily available just for anybody. And you could pretty much grab these from any convenience store or adult shop, as it were. But moving right along, I need to add this to this. Give me 1 second because I wanted to add this and it's going to pop up on the screen rather quickly. Let me make sure. I think I put it in the right area. Give me 1 second. Right here. Let's go here. We're going to move right on to the trade that's going on in America, because it's a big thing that's going on, and everybody seems to have their opinions on the matter. Ooh, that's big. That is big. Let's see. Let's go right here. It's at the top. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to have to resize it. Hello, there I am. I didn't get to grab this earlier. I ran into a time constraint with some things, but like I said, I'm going to resize it for you so you can see it. And because this matters. So you know how the leftists have been complaining about, oh, America's trade war with China is going to ruin America. No, the trade war with China and losing the trade war is what's going to lose the trade war and make America worse. So if you look on the left-hand side here, this is what the trade partners and trade routes America had in 2000s. And as I've said before to people in passing, that Barack Obama and George Bush ruined America when it came down to trade. George Bush put us in a conflict that we didn't really need to be in, which put a constraint on, the trade routes, because people looked unfavorably towards America over this because of what they were doing. Let's see if I can make this big enough for you guys, because this is something I want you to be able to get the full gravity of. So it made us look unfavorable to the world, and that put a huge dent in our trade routes and trade partners, because no one really understood outside of 9/11 why we were doing what we were doing. And over time, that thing became worse. And as you can see over here on the 2024 side, now, since 2012, especially because of trade actions that Barack Obama took, China has taken over almost all of the world outside of the Western world. We have lost all but a few of our trade partners, and we're steadily losing. So people think that because he's doing what he's doing with the whole, tariffs and stuff is a negative. But if we don't do something, we won't be able to rectify this, and America is going to continue to be put in a hole, for all intents and purposes. But what's really nice is we woke up to a couple of days ago, the stock market going on the up and up, as you can see here. And I don't have a problem with this. This is a beautiful thing. And if you guys are not following Unusual Wells, you should be. They are moving more from a stock market based thing and into a more newsworthy thing, since other voices have been silenced. But this is what we should be looking at in the future and moving towards in the future, so we can know true news, because they're not going to tell us that on our major news networks. But the stock market is doing better. Like I said last week, eggs have continued to trend down, and I believe nationally they're under $4 now. So we are seeing good things come from this in particular. So we can't take what the Americans in the media world are saying to us. We have to take what the Americans are saying to us that are looking at the actual facts. And that takes us to our next segment right here with Canada. I'm so sick and tired of talking about Canada. I can't stand Canada, but Canada plans to purchase F-35s elsewhere. So far, they are reviewing their deal for F-35s in lieu of the current constraint that Trump has supposedly placed on the trade relations with them. And the deal was made 2 years ago under Biden, but with Mark Carney and Canada's new prime minister, they're making adult decisions that could potentially cripple Canada in this aspect, because they were pushing for this deal 2 years ago, made the deal. Now they're looking to back out, but I'm willing to bank that they don't back out of this deal. It was a $19 billion Canadian deal that was made for the purpose of 88 purchase of 88 F-35 fighter planes, which is roughly about $13.2 billion United States. And I don't think they're going to find a better partner that can make a better plane that would actually benefit them. And if they do go through with backing out of this deal, we are looking at Canadian defenses being completely crippled. So we will see what this new interim prime minister does for the future, but it's not looking good with the moves that they're making. But right in line with that, Portugal also considers joining Canada for an alternate bird. Canada is literally clipping their own wings, and so is any other country that considers backing out of deals with the United States for our weaponry, because our weaponry is top notch right now. And I don't think any other country is going to give them a deal that could either meet the quality of the product or the price. So we will see. But we do see South Korea making some really weird moves by selling Canada submarines. Why? Why are they selling submarines? Potentially to help strengthen Canada's, military prowess. But as we just stated, with the removal of our planes, if they go through with that back out, submarines are not going to make that big of a difference for them, because air superiority is king. The planes can do things far more advanced and better than what a submarine can. So moving on with this is kind of weird in the sense that South Korea is an ally, and for them to make these kind of moves, it seems like they would be undercutting us, so to speak, because we do have military bases in South Korea. And so this is all news today relating to us, but more so foreign countries. So moving right along, we have China being very upset, as you can see here, with the moves that India are making with the American Indian relations. And does China have to be worried about these potential new relationships between the United States and India? That is a question that everybody should be asking themselves. And I would say so, because Tulsi Gabbard, the spy, the Russian asset that everybody likes to call her, Tulsi Gabbard has moved into India this past week to do some key meetings. And we haven't had any news on exactly what these meetings are consisting of, but there are talks of new relationships, new bonds, new trades, new deals with India that will benefit both India and America. So for me personally, I think what they're trying to do is pull away from the control India has, or not India, but China has on manufacturing and certain things, and move towards India, which is a manufacturing giant. And doing so would really cripple China in a big way if one of their largest consuming countries backs out, which is America. It's always going to be America because we have the largest consumption rate on the planet. But in other news, Cuba. Trump wants to put military presence in the Panama Canal. And so Cuba and Panama have been in the news, and that's because America announced that they want to put military presence there, and all of a sudden things start going crazy over there, and their lights start flickering. You have widespread outages in the Panama and in Cuba, as you can see here, and these blackouts are leaving them in the darkness. And I wonder if it is self-induced because of Trump, making the announcement that we're going to move towards putting a military presence there. And the Panamanians are like, hey, are they really just trying to do this to help us, or are they really trying to reclaim the Panama Canal, as it were? And really and truly, if you want to be realistic, the Panama Canal would have been gone a long time ago if it were not for the United States, because somebody would have came and took over it. We rebuilt the area. We made that area a trade area for the world. And I really don't think us taking over entirely is a bad idea, but I don't think it's necessary. But we do need to put a grasp and a stronghold on all of these loose ends that we've had for years in the United States. So we just have to wait on a lot of this stuff. Again, I'm not wanting to be first. I'm wanting to be right. So I am presenting this news to you so you can be aware of it and keep an eye out for it, because I don't want to make you feel like, hey, he's just trying to get my attention with big news. No, I don't care about big news. I just want to make sure that you're aware of it enough to know that if changes do come in the future, you can be like, hey, I've heard about this. I've heard about this and I approve. But speaking of approval, we are looking into, how the United States is approving of Trump. He has the highest approval rating he's had in a long time. And in light of this approval rating that he has, the Democrats are dropping. Their numbers are dropping. The Democrats have the lowest approval rating they have ever had, of 27%. Their constituents do not care for what they are doing and how they are doing it. And let's be realistic. They don't have a candidate that they can put up that is worth their weight in salt. And really and truly, they're going to suffer if they don't find some type of way to remedy this situation. Give me 1 second. Oh, I don't know why that is playing in my ear. Let's see. Boom. Done. But it's kind of sad to see, because we don't know what's going to come of this and how it's going to work out for America, in the sense that, could we see like a big coup pop up in relation to Donald Trump and the Republican Party? Or I don't know. But we do have a video here for you guys to take a look at, because Jasmine Crockett and the Democrats alone have been all over the internet, and it's kind of disconcerting, because I'm tired of seeing this woman, because she's not smart. She's not an intelligent individual at all, and I find it funny that we keep seeing her, but she's making her name known, and it seems to be that she's as dumb as AOC. You didn't hear that from me though. Yeah, you did. I'm just messing. She's stupid.
This has been a rough 72 hours for Democrats. I want to play some of what Democratic Senate Leader Schumer told me on The Lead on Friday about his decision to vote with the Republicans to fund the government. Take a listen.
What is going on?
A government shutdown gives Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and Doge almost complete power as to what to close down, because they can decide what is an essential service.
Can you guys hear that?
If they determine that SNAP, kids shouldn't get food, is not essential, they can just cut it out summarily.
House Democrats wanted would have presented a worse consequence. Is he wrong?
He's absolutely wrong. I mean, look at the reality of the votes, right? I understand that the American people are frustrated. Please believe many of us did not sleep because we were calling and trying to impress upon the senators the importance of pushing back in this moment. And as you saw, we had all but one Democrat in the House that voted for this. So that's 212 Democrats in the House. And then you had the vast majority of senators vote for it or vote against it as well. And so the idea that Chuck Schumer is the only one that's got a brain in the room and the only one that can think through all of the pros and cons is absolutely ridiculous. And Jake, you and I both know that this administration could care less about whether or not they violate.
Yeah, so that's good old Jasmine Crockett. Dumb as a box of rocks, and she really doesn't know what is going on. Among the Democrats, they have, their favorability has dropped from 81% to 63%, and their overall rating has dropped, like I said, to 27%, which I find to be absolutely hilarious, because she's just not very smart. And what I perceive happening in the future is that they're setting her up to potentially be a vice president pick, because she's getting all of this airtime. And really, this probably could be the worst potential thing they could do for themselves, is put this woman up or prop this woman up in some way, shape, or form to be a big name. And either she's doing it for herself, or she is doing it because she's a puppet. But either which way, we will see in the future what is going to happen with this. She's potentially one of the dumbest lawyers I've ever seen. But speaking of dumb lawyers, we also have dumb judges. The federal judge that stepped in to stop Trump from deporting the illegals. This has been talk all over the place, absolutely all over the place, and I find it to be hilarious that it's all over the place, because this judge is trying to step out from his duty and his purview from what he is able to do. He is an Article 1 judge working in an Article 3 court system. So as an Article 1 judge, he does not have the authority to tell Trump what to do. The El Salvador president tweeted right after he saw this stoppage of the judge from allowing Trump to do what he did. He said it's too late, after he had already received received the prisoners. And we can look at that right here.
President Trump invoked the Alien Enemies Act today. Now a federal judge is considering a wide-reaching order to block him from deporting non-citizens under that act.
The president took action, saying the U.S. is being invaded by the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua. Earlier, a federal judge had granted a temporary restraining order barring the president from deporting 5 Venezuelans under the Alien Enemies Act.
And this is what he is using.
It's only been used 3
Alien
other
Enemies
times.
Act.
One was part of
and
the
this is where the judge
internment
tried
of
to step
Japanese
in.
American civilians during World War II. The Alien Enemies Act could allow the president to speed up deportations.
But yeah, he is within his power and scope of the Article 2 to do what he's doing. And these judges don't have the authority. Anytime someone is acting constitutionally, they're only to be heard by the Supreme Court. So a lot of people don't know that. And I have talked about it extensively on other platforms in debate style, and, pull the Constitution out, letting people be able to read it and see it. and show them, hey, this judge is outside of his scope. He is not a constitutional judge. He can't hear constitutionality. So for the fact that he's doing this, it is a major overstep. And like I was saying earlier, this is the video of the prisoners being received. I had them backwards. After being super serious, we're going to need some comic relief. And in this week's comic relief, it is Rosie O'Donnell. This woman, she finally took the plunge. She moved to Ireland. But I don't want to talk about this particularly. I'm going to let her talk about it. So let's listen to her.
Well, hey, everybody. It's me, Rosie O'Donnell, star of the Flintstones. It's Tuesday all day, as my Nana would say. And I'm here in Ireland. And it's beautiful and warm, not physically, it's actually quite cold. Moved here on January 15th, and it's been pretty wonderful, I have to say. The people are so loving and so kind, so welcoming, and I'm very grateful. I'm in the process of getting my Irish citizenship, as I have Irish grandparents.
Okay, that's enough of that. I won't subject you to any more of that. What a disgusting person. I'm the star of Flintstones. No one cares. You're that was what, the 90s? Ma'am, you're played out. You're overall just a disgusting human being. Because instead of standing in your place as an actor, you want to act as if you know anything politically. And you're pushing people to do things that they either can't afford to do or won't do. And more than likely, if Trump were to have lost, you would have stayed. And the next president, if it is a Democrat, you'll come back. Because your Irish roots are not what you actually care about. You use this for political theater and for clicks, views, and likes. You don't want to be there. Nobody wants to be anywhere but America. And that's not me being, boisterous and saying that. If it weren't true, then everybody and their mom wouldn't be scratching, clawing, and pining to get to the United States, as we could see. But this woman is a joke. Hollywood is a joke. I ultimately think that she moved because she's probably on the list that we're still waiting for. Pam Bondi, we're still waiting. We're still waiting for that list, Pam Bondi. You said you got the extra files, so please deliver the files to us so that we can have a conversation about all of these disgusting excuses for human beings. So, no more Thai. This right here is quite interesting. Sanctions were placed on Thailand officials for deporting the Uyghurs back to China. If anybody knows anything about the Uyghurs per se, these people were in China and treated grossly, absolutely, positively grossly. And it was pretty much in light of what we would consider to be a genocide. Everybody always likes to say genocide. The Americans are helping Israel genocide the Palestinians. No, this was a legitimate genocide. They were lining people up and shooting them. They were lining people up and chopping off their heads. They were lining people up and gassing them. They were putting them in concentration camps. And it's something that is quite disgusting. And Marco Rubio actually spoke out about it. Marco Rubio says Beijing is pressuring other governments to send the Uyghurs and other groups back to China, where they will be subject to torture and enforced disappearances. In response, the State Department will immediately take steps to impose visa restrictions on government officials involved in these forced returns, including the recent instances of 40 Uyghurs from Thailand. Individuals complicit in China's atrocities would be held accountable, and rightfully so, because these people aren't like the Muslims. They aren't like T groups. They're not like the ISIS's and the Hamas. These people are just trying to live life. They're not moving into new countries and trying to take over and upturn the government. They just don't agree with the beliefs of Chinese. These people have their own beliefs, and in fact, I believe they too are of Muslim beliefs or Islamic beliefs. And because they don't adhere to everything China says, China kills them. It's pretty gruesome. I've seen some really nasty videos of the things happening to these people, and it's atrocious, really and truly. But in less dark news, we have the UK putting together their peacekeeping force to move into the operational phase in preparation to help Ukraine. Right. What a joke. What a joke. Ukraine is... Oh, didn't mean to start that. Ukraine needs help, but not our help. And it's finally nice to see you guys doing something, but your peacekeeping group was supposed to be helping them last year. Or at least that's what you said. And now you're finally posturing to do something because America's not footing the bills anymore. And here is the one of their officials speaking on it.
Good afternoon. And we agreed to accelerate our practical work to support a potential deal. So we will now move into an operational phase. Our militaries will meet on Thursday this week here in the United Kingdom to put strong and robust plans in place to swing in behind a peace deal and guarantee Ukraine's future security.
Yeah, so I'm pretty disgusted. I can't stand their accent. This whole Ukrainian war has really put a sour taste in my mouth for any foreign people, because I've watched over the past 4 years horrid things happen to those who live in America, and people from other countries say America's horrible for not helping now, and the Americans are still hurting. The people in California still need help. The people in Maui still need help. The people in North Georgia, East Tennessee, and Western North Carolina still need help. For God's sake, people in Jackson, Mississippi, East Palestine, Ohio, and Flint, Michigan still don't have what they need to function. And I know they say, well, Trump's not doing anything. Trump has done a lot to get the ball moving, but these states need to actually get up and help as well. But I'm tired of our federal government taking federal taxpayer money to help all these other countries, and these other countries that are surrounding the countries that need help don't step in and help. Why is it incumbent upon us to help every single time someone needs help? That is a question that I ask all of the time. Why is it incumbent upon us to help them when, if America was in trouble, they wouldn't help? And then I know some people will be like, whoa, well, 9/11, France helped. Right. They helped. You're right. My bad. Yeah, they helped. Not really. These countries didn't come give the aid that everybody likes to point out that they gave. No one is actually coming to the aid of America. They're not. And it's funny that people always say that they'll come and help, that they're allies. And the only country I've seen really give benefits to America is Israel. They might be our one true ally, and they're not the best ally in the world themselves. So keep this in mind. I will be updating you on what has been mentioned tonight if big changes happen. And even if little changes happen, I'll still update you. I want you guys to be aware, and I want you guys to be informed. I don't want you to run around just saying things because you read a headline and not know what is actually going on. So I appreciate you guys. I thank you for coming this week and the week before and the week before, and I hope to keep you coming back in the weeks to come. So thank you for everything, and make sure you hit that like button and you hit that share button and tell your friends about me, because I will always give you truth. I will never give you first. I rather